Hey, Chad, I had a good time.
Imaru is safe
That was
now.
just a new experience.
That's all
Kids
you
up
need to
now, so I
know.
gotta go.
Oh, good.
Check out
You're locked into his
the
system immediately.
exclamation point
But then I
MH. If
realized
you're a new father and struggling
he's too
with
valuable to leave in anyone's
you know
care but yours.
new
You are guardians,
and
after
different
all.
feelings, postpartum of your partner giving um birth to a child. I know I'm going through it. I went through it. Um, and there's just on the exclamation MH, there's just a little bit of facts to get you going in the right direction. Um, and it always um, looks different for each person. So that kind of helps you decipher on how you're feeling and things like that. you know, for me, it was just, sudden onset, just crippling anxiety for no reason. Um, and then come to find out there is a reason. So there's people out there that have gone through it like myself, and there's doctors and physicians that, um, are experts in that and maybe have gone through it themselves. Um, so yeah, have a look at that exclamation point MH, and it's a very basic. It just kind of outlines um, like a few of the things that could be postpartum from you know a couple um, having a child. That even goes for adoption. Um, like unfortunate, godparent type things, situations like that. Um, you know, so it's all different kinds of situations, and it's something that's really close to my heart too. Um, you know, it does get better. It does get better, but you have to, I it was feeding my anxiety in the beginning because I didn't know what I was feeling. I didn't know where these feelings were coming from. And so this exclamation point MH in the chat is a great way to identify if it is a feeling that you've never felt before, maybe of anxiety, depression, loneliness, isolation, things like that. Because you could have, started a family and had a child, two children, maybe have twins and stuff like that. And it's be happy, and you are deep down, you're really, really happy. Um, but you know, that happened to myself personally, and until I took the steps, um, and it took me a lot. It took me longer than it should have, and I suffered. I was having crippling panic attacks, just absolutely crippling panic attacks, and to the point where, one night I shook my wife awake, um, and I was like, I'm dying, and we like got in, like drove to the hospital, and I got there, and we never went in, but um, it was one of the one of the top three most scariest times in my life, and I was scared. Not only for myself, but I was scared. My wife has to go through this. My kid has to go through this, and you know, it was really scary. And then I started really doing soul searching and looking for um, things to help me figure out what this was. And I can tell you, once I started doing that, it gets better. It does. I can promise you it gets better. And it may not be instant. I've been dealing with this for 2 years now, and two and a half almost. And I just now recently found somebody to talk to, that um, I enjoy, but they have the way that they speak to me is the way that I would speak to myself. And it really gets in deep, and it really sinks in. And um it really helps me understand my feelings better and how to better deal with my feelings. Um, I suggest, in my personal experience, um, I saw a behavioral therapist first, and then I'm now moving on to a more long term, um, like trauma therapy and stuff like that. If you guys come by the stream and stuff like that, we talk about it occasionally. I could do a whole video about it. I'm not, and I may, because it's a really important thing. So like I said, people, and this can affect anybody. Trust, I mean, anybody, that just everybody across the board, anybody. Um, you know, and then this is not like, there's so many other things that can trigger it. Trauma, you know, like, growing up in, a traumatic household type trauma, um, death of loved ones. It can be anything, um, that triggers this and it comes up. But I'm specifically, speaking more towards like new fathers and fathers that have children, and then just started kind of like their, mental health has started to decline, and and that's like scientifically proven. And there's so many great, um info out there's so much great info out there, to help you, figure out, maybe you don't need a behavioral therapist. Maybe you need, a more family oriented therapist, or maybe you need this or that. And this is like I said, exclamation point MH is a great way to start. This is in that information in there is by no means going to, start triggering you on, and going into like, I'm cured. This is very basic information that helps you on your long journey to becoming, well again. And that's my goal. So if you ever have any questions, um, or if you want to share your own personal stories or your own personal, like, information that helped you and stuff, that would be amazing. Either on YouTube or on, Twitch. We stream every day, 12 to 2, and then I like to say 7:30 to about 10:30. So I stream about 5 hours a day, but it's broken up to more of like a lunchtime stream and then an evening stream. Just because I am a full time stay at home dad, and with my kid, and so when he naps, I play games, and sometimes I do other things. I think on Tuesdays and Thursdays we don't stream at night. I have a schedule down there. It's been set for a long time. Just check out the schedule. Again, guys, thank you. Exclamation point MH in the chat for more information on, how to get started on your journey to being well again. It's really close to my heart, and I hope that if I help one person, maybe that one person will help 100 people, or vice versa. So, if I can help a single person understand, because it's really about understanding the way you're feeling, because you can be confused about why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. For me personally, I used to be the class clown. So much energy, spontaneous, love to be out around people, very social, very, very social. Um, and and then like right around, like the end of the pregnancy, and then during, and it was really tough for me and my wife. Very, very tough. And um affected us differently. And it it started up, and then that's where my, you know um issues with anxiety and stuff like that came, um up. And now, and like I said previous to, it can, you could have those feelings inside of you, and it just something, it just takes one thing to kind of bring it all out. into the open, you know. And so, you know, I'm dealing through things, and I still love going out and stuff, but I could tell that my, you know, demeanor was going down. I like kind of closed off. I was okay with staying in. I was okay with, you know, not going out. You know, I was okay with these things, and I became like complacent in this stuff, and like I kind of just got like to a place where I was like, okay, you know, I'm sad, you know, I feel lonely and this and that, and that's not how I was. And I knew that. So that's when it kind of started for me. I was like, why I used to be like all about this and stuff like that. Like I used to be all about going out, and, you know, I'm not talking about going out like clubbing or anything like that. I'm talking about like just going outside and being around people and having fun outside of like my home and my office and stuff like that. Anyways, guys, exclamation point MH in the chat again for very, very simple steps um, to being well again. Again, I am Crimes across every platform that you can imagine. I really appreciate you guys' time. I've rambled for long enough. Thank you guys for stopping by the stream. And I'm gonna post this on YouTube. I think this is something that people need to hear. Even if like I said, 1 to 5 people see it. Um, Thanks so much, guys. Later.